So Jimmy was quite candid in where he stood, how ready he thought he was going to be, which is basically, we'll see. Kyle was different. Kyle came out and was like, look, I mean, he played through it in the second half of this game. I mean, that's my understanding that he, Drew Brees had to get surgery, but Drew Brees had a real fracture. This is not, there's nothing moving. I mean, all of a sudden, he's very specific with the details and saying basically, it seems to me he thinks that Jimmy Garoppolo should play through this injury. And it seems like he wants, if at all possible, Jimmy to play through. Why?
This is not going to be a fun answer. This is not going to be a cool answer. Grant, I have no idea, right?
It is the question, though, right? It's the question.
Yeah. And I think the question is more this.
Yeah.
Does he not trust Trey at all? And I can't give you that answer because I would honestly just be speculating. So the answer is I have no effing idea what is going on and why it is. Again, if you want to play mind games with the Texans, I don't understand that because, sure, they have to prepare because Jimmy Garoppolo might throw the ball more. But after what you just saw with an injury, they are going to run the ball 40 times. They have done it against better defenses. And with Trey, it didn't seem like in that one game, obviously Trey was a little bit banged up. It didn't seem like they wanted to throw the ball much, and it doesn't seem like Kyle would want to do that, especially knowing the advantageous matchup on the floor, on the ground. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand what it is. I really don't. Like, either of those quarterbacks are going to start, and it's going to be 40 runs. So what's this whole mind game with the Texans, making them prepare for two different things when the game plan will be the exact same, with the only exception being that Trey Lance is also a proponent of that run game? Like, I wouldn't expect Trey Lance to throw the ball maybe 15, 17, 18 times in this game, and Jimmy Garoppolo would probably have the same amount. So I have no idea, Grant. I really don't. I have no idea why he's so pressed to make it seem like Jimmy Garoppolo's ready, or is it more that he just doesn't trust Trey? It's head-scratching. I want to thank the 49ers for giving us this content to talk about because they just did a gift that keeps on giving. Literally the biggest circus in town in the NFL. I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. I really don't. I don't understand. It literally could have been as simple as, hey, man, he's banged up. I know I can win this game with Trey Lance running the ball 40 times. We're going to give him the week off and try to get him ready for the Rams game. Not, we're going to take it all the way up to Thursday. We don't know. He's going to try to practice and give it a go. It's baffling. It doesn't make much sense to me in my mind.
Only thing I could possibly only way I can understand this is if Kyle feels like, look, I like Trey and I believe in him, but I haven't prepared him for this. This was not the plan. I did not want to go to Trey week 17. The Niners have been in blowouts and haven't played him. They've really bypassed opportunities to get him ready for just such an occasion. And maybe they feel like he really won't do well. And it's not necessarily his fault. He's a 21-year-old quarterback that they haven't prepared. I mean, his preparation is scout team, which is better than nothing, but it's not game experience. So maybe it's really Kyle feeling like, man, I don't want to do that to Trey. I don't want to do it to me. And you know what? Maybe there's something else involved here too. Jimmy, they've given you a lot of money. I think it's part of the reason he's still on the team. They want a return on their investment. They don't want to just cut you and be like, well, we gave him $100 million for 35 games. I mean, yikes. They want more games. They want a pick back. I think probably from the owner down. I don't think they really are that juiced to see Jimmy Garoppolo get another $1.5 million game check while he's sitting in the luxury suite taking copious notes.
Let me ask you a question, Grant. The reason that the 49ers moved up to get somebody at 3 was because Jimmy Garoppolo gets injured. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is injured, and this is the 4th year that he's doing that. And Kyle's like, man, he got injured?
Damn it.
Man, I didn't know that was coming. Who could have
I didn't see that coming at all. Yeah, man. It's like, that's why I kept being like the turn in the punch bowl during the win streak, saying, hey, I know it's a blowout and it's great time. Why don't you play Trey Lance a little bit here? And in retrospect, he should have been getting first team reps just for such an occasion. I know you like Jimmy Garoppolo and you're all in, but like he gets hurt and you don't want to have to be in a position where you're hoping and that he can play at 60% with 9 fingers. You don't want that. You want to be confident in your backup in just such an occasion.
It's literally the reason that you made this move. And here's the moment. And you're like, damn, he got injured? I didn't see that coming. Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah.
It's literally happened every single year that he's been here, aside from 2019. And
I just feel like there's something not being said behind closed doors, man. I feel like, the John Lynch tweet thing kind of was a peek into it, but it feels like there's, there was some bad blood after this loss. And I don't know, maybe Jimmy feel like he got thrown under the bus, so I don't know. But all of a sudden the message is Jimmy's like, well, I can't play anymore. And the Niners and Kyle's like, man, I don't know about that. Let's see. Really, this isn't as bad. It's like the Niners' message is it's not as bad as it seems. And Jimmy's message is it's worse than the Niners are letting on, which to me makes it feel like, what is going on here? Is this like the Niners saying you owe it to us to play? Or is Jimmy saying I might have played, but not for an organization that treats me like this? Like, do you sense those undercurrents as well?
I sense that there's something strange going on. And I sense that this team is completely in chaos right now. And everybody else does. Literally, Kyle Shanahan goes to the podium after you hear a worse diagnosis from the two most tapped in insiders in the NFL, saying that it's worse than what you thought. So who's giving who the information? Then you get to the podium and you're like, yeah, he's definitely got a shot to play. We're going to give it a go this week and everything as well. And with all of these events and everything around this team, it is all strange. Everything, all about this is weird. And there is no real way to put through. I mean, think about it and get a real result without just thinking about just speculating. Like, it's baffling. The 49ers can beat this team that's in front of them in a must-win game with their rookie quarterback doing what they've done many times with their 8-year veteran. Run the ball 40 damn times. And it's easy. It's right there in front of you. Play solid defense and run the ball 40 times, and you walk away with a victory, and then you reevaluate after that. This whole, maybe Jimmy, I'm not ready for Trey. Like, dude, it's right there in front of you. This isn't a game against the Rams. If this was the Rams, okay, maybe you sit there, and I wouldn't agree with it, but maybe you sit there and you're like, you know what, man, I don't want to throw the rook in there in this must-win moment against a divisional rival. That might be different. Is the Houston Texans, I don't give a damn who they just beat. The Chargers beat themselves. And Rex Burkhead is not Barry Sanders. That's just an atrocious run defense that the Chargers had. The 49ers are not like that. The 49ers don't need to do anything other than things that they've done this year against better opponents and against inferior opponents. So don't overthink it. Let the guy rest or whatever it is that you want to do and win the damn game the way that you won many games in this time with Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think so. You immediately went to, what does this mean about Trey? What does this mean about what they think about Trey? That's a good question to me, but I keep going back to Jimmy. What does this mean about what they think about Jimmy? And people don't talk about it because Jimmy's football royalty and he was mentored by Belichick and Brady and all this stuff. But remember what Martellus Bennett said about him? Mm-hmm. That's what a lot of players who know him secretly feel and whisper, that he's soft, that he shuts himself down. That's what they said in New England, that he basically shut himself down an hour and a half before game time, and they had to go to Jacoby Brissett, who was also hurt. I'm just saying, I think there's a little bit of like, dude, Kyle's basically said you should be able to play through this. This is something you should be able to play through, and I think there's a little bit of that going on. Again, we're gonna pay you to not play through an injury that you could play through. You only play when you're 100% healthy. Really? I think there's some of that going on here. It's not even about Trey. We don't even want. The plan was for Trey to play next year. It's not even about Trey. He's young. It's about you, Jimmy. You need to play. I think there's some of that going on.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people are saying, well, he's just trying to protect his trade value. I think not playing, it lowers your trade value. Let me explain. Injured in New England. Injured in 2018. Injured in 2021. Injured in 2021.
Yep.
Who is going to look at that and say, well, that boosts his stock, man. He's been injured almost every single year that he's been out there. Yep. I don't get it. Maybe that's the reason he's forcing himself to try and play, so he can shed that. Because if he's shutting himself down to up his trade value, if I'm a general manager, I am looking at a guy who has been injured 4 years out of the 6 years that he's been asked to be a quarterback. Is that good? No. So I don't get it. None of this makes sense. It's not to up his trade value.
21 games. 4 times in the last 21 games.
You're not upping your trade value. No. You are perpetuating the reason that this team is moving on from you, because you can't stay healthy. I don't understand it. None of this makes sense in terms of the way any of these people are moving right now at this point. It's a circus.
Well, I mean, Jimmy didn't say anything about it at first. It seemed like at first he was probably thinking along the lines you were. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want anyone to know about this. Like, it's not good for me to get hurt again. But then he got all the blame for the loss, and John Lynch got a little loose or whatever happened. And, he was like, well, hold on. Actually, there's some more information you guys don't know that I wasn't going to talk about. But it seemed to him probably that he felt the way he lost that game, the way he was nationally televised, it really changed the view of him. Everyone was like, Jimmy, like kind of, I think his camp felt, well, better for people to know that he got hurt again and it's not really long-term serious than to have this be the last impression. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Again, I'm not saying he could play through this, but I just feel like Kyle's saying he can play through this, which is really weird to me. So anyway, Kyle's probably out of line with that. He's probably stopped. Because you know what Harbaugh used to say?